we've realized in creating reels that people have a goldfish attention span, and it made us stray away from the content that we wanted to put out because we felt like we had to constantly be hooking people. And full disclosure, it's been a shit show.
It's still a shit show.
But it's getting better.
Mm-hmm.
We started out talking about us, then we strayed away from that a little bit. We definitely want this podcast to be relatable, kind of like a journal to track our journey.
Obviously we want to relate to people who have kids and whatnot.
Yeah.
But if you're listening to this and you don't have kids, definitely take advantage of your time.
Well, why did we start the podcast?
I feel like we started the podcast for So essentially what we're going to get in today is to start out with is our content creation journey. Why we started posting for the podcast. Basically how we started the podcast with YouTube and Instagram, and then also the challenges of finding our voice and style.
Oh boy. Full disclosure, it's been a shit show.
It's still a shit show.
It's still a shit show, but it's getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why did we start the podcast?
I feel like we started the podcast for a platform for both of our businesses. I feel like you had obviously the idea like first.
Yeah.
And then I'm kind of just like here for the ride, and then while doing it, I also appreciate having a platform to talk about stuff with you and talk about our business on. So I can say that since doing quite a few episodes now, I am more intrigued by them, I guess, or excited for them.
I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
We've also bounced around and on the finding our voice part. We started out talking about us, then we strayed away from that a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we realized that we definitely want this podcast to be relatable and about us, our life as parents, starting our businesses, traveling, podcasting, and kind of like a journal to track our journey, but also to post it for other people to see and obviously relate to, and to the business piece.
Yeah.
Get to know
so
us.
I guess for that, it's obviously nice having like that platform and whatnot to like talk about ourselves. And yes, it's our branding.
Yeah.
And it helps when people come across our videos or our business websites or whatever, and then go watch us. But oh my goodness.
Well, I was gonna say, starting this for our businesses, I had someone reach out who was a friend back in Wisconsin. We're out in Washington now, but he knew about me starting Aloe Arsenal, and all he did was search it on Google, and then a podcast popped up of me speaking on the business, and then it made him text me and ask like when everything's gonna be launched. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I feel like too, it's obviously it's our branding and whatnot, but I feel like it's also harder to, I guess, get like your foot in the door with podcasting or whatnot, because people, like, you have to be very relatable to certain people. Otherwise, why is someone gonna want to sit for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes and listen to you talk? Like, I know I always found it very hard to listen to podcasts and find podcasts that I liked to listen to. So,
and this whole journey of podcasting and having the idea of it, we didn't know anything before we started. We literally just bought the stuff and we're like, well, let's figure it out. We weren't watching other people or how things are supposed to be done, and we turned on the camera and we recorded, and we figured everything out on the fly. And I would say every episode we've improved in some aspect.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like we're still finding, I guess, like, our voice and style, or we've found it, but we're like finalizing
Yeah.
or whatever. But obviously it's gonna change too, because we're transitioning, and then we're gonna continue to transition. So
Mm-hmm.
if I know us, it's gonna change again.
It's definitely gonna change.
But
Shit don't stay the same with us.
no. Our next topic is the power of short form content. Why TikTok Reels shorts are a must have for creators and quick tips for making engaging authentic short form content.
We've gone back and forth on this too, but with the podcast, again, we want it to be relatable. We've realized in creating reels that people have a goldfish attention span, and it made us stray away from the content that we wanted to put out because we felt like we had to constantly be hooking people, and we had to be adding humor and memes and all these different things to our reels to retain attention. And that goes for TikTok, that goes for YouTube Reels, that goes for Instagram Reels. All right, she's looking at me. It was more me than it was her. She was off put by some of the stuff that we were putting out. Is that why you're smiling?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. All right. Yeah, that was me. Um, and yeah, it definitely strayed away from, I guess, who we are or who we want to be, or what part of us we want to show.
There is podcast pages that are like that. I feel like the ones that are super animated though are like scientific ones. like like Bill Nye the Science Guy.
You hear this woman?
I'm just saying, all of the podcasts that I watch, I don't know if it's because it's women doing the podcast or whatnot. Yes, I did say that.
No, yeah, I know.
Um, but it's definitely like more aesthetically pleasing to watch. There's not like
Yeah,
I think it's also just like the actual creator inside me and not wanting to put like a bunch of emojis
yeah.
on everything because that's not.
Let's be real. I mean, we are doing this from scratch.
Yeah.
So we've jumped around different styles and different ways to do things. And full disclosure, we've hired on somebody now
Hmm.
to help us with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's not
And
like we have like an audience right out the bat, so we're trying to like put our feelers out there, I
yeah,
suppose.
we want to grow our audience in the right way, and we want to have people listen to our podcast and watch our content because they resonate with us at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, period.
Yes. As far as short form content go, our shorts have not been doing too well on YouTube
Nope,
at all.
nope.
Instagram Reels is all right, but I feel like Instagram is also just like you
It's
have to
hit or
be
miss. Yeah.
very consistent also. When I feel like we're consistent posting shorts on YouTube and not on Instagram, and if we switched it, then it would probably do a lot better.
Yeah.
Which
And that's the form of reels that we created to, as to why we're putting him on. I was putting him on YouTube and not Instagram.
right. Well, no. Yeah, that makes sense, but even like our topic is the power of short form content. I mean, like this is how we discuss things. Like
Mm-hmm.
right here is that like yes, there's analytics and algorithm and whatnot, but sometimes it doesn't hit.
She don't pop.
No.
Sad.
uh so quick tips for making engaging authentic short form content. I don't know. When I see day in the lives, I eat that shit up. Like
That's your. You love that.
no matter
You
what
love that.
creator or influencer, whatever content creator you want to call yourself,
That's because it's super relatable,
it
and it's
is super
relatable to what
relatable.
you're doing.
Yeah.
So you eat that up because you love it, and then you're
Mhm.
also dabbling into doing day in the life and vlogs for your photography business. So
Mhm.
you take bits and pieces of what other people are doing and try to replicate it.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I would honestly, I would just say to be yourself for the most part, but that's just me and how I am.
Yeah.
If you go with it like an actual like marketing
Mm-hmm.
person or branding um coordinator or whatever you want to call them,
You
they'll
yeah.
probably tell you more on the analytics and all of that stuff, but
I would say just try to engage with people, connect with people. We use threads a lot, but
mhm.
ask people that are successful in that realm, that are doing well, or people that have expertise in it, to ask about analytics, hooking, and the best way to go about what you want to create.
Yeah, there's so many videos. I've never seen so many how to become a content creator videos out there like there is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Number three is balancing the chaos, struggling creating content for multiple platforms, the tools we use to stay organized, i.e., Trello, Notion, or simple planners. So I had Trello, haven't used it since I started the business. Notion, I've never used.
I've heard a lot about Notion.
We got offered to use it at the spot I worked at before working with you.
Yep.
Um, and then I just told you today that I needed to buy a planner.
Yeah.
But balancing the chaos, I feel like like we know.
We have a better idea of what we need
Yeah,
to do and what we need to
we did
schedule.
put stuff into the calendar. I feel like to like lay out like a
Yeah.
foundation. But as far as like creating the content, so even with my page, I feel like we need to create a backlog of content, or like how they were
Absolutely.
saying with the YouTubes.
Yeah.
Um with the YouTubes. With the podcast video on YouTube.
Peace, woman.
Um but I don't know, I feel like we need to just do a backlog and then like really schedule them as long as freaking Meta doesn't fail the post when they're scheduled, but
Yeah. I think we just need to take a week break, probably from posting, and just create.
yeah.
And then after that, just pick one day, whether it be a
Mhm.
Saturday or Sunday, and create enough content for an extended period of time, and then
Yeah.
we'll be set because we don't want to keep burning ourselves out.
It's definitely something that we've talked about like on almost each episode that we've like been needing to do it, and then we get like a few steps closer every single
Yeah.
time. But I feel like our ADHD is just so bad, and then working and being a parent, and then also trying to have some time for yourself, or like your chores or your hobbies other than this stuff
Yeah. We're trying to stay on top of everything.
is a lot, and I feel like we're just
We're getting a little better.
yeah,
You're
I
getting a
feel
little
like we
better.
were
Yeah.
spread thin.
Pichush
We're
is gonna
all
help us.
right. Yeah, it's definitely helping. Um, but the tools we use to stay organized. So I mentioned using a calendar. So we both have Google, the G Suite, the Google Workspace.
Yep.
So, and then we have one for the podcast
Y-
page now.
Yep.
So getting um, if you're doing podcasting, getting a podcast email or G Suite, because you can create forms in there. You can send out like polls if you want to do polls on your page. You can also do use Google Forms and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
um but Google Calendar is also used. You can use Google Calendar and sync it to your Apple one if you want to see it on your phone. um
We've touched on it last episode, but actual editing, just stick with one software. The easiest one would be CapCut. And
mhm
then if you're doing thumbnails and things like that or banners, then Canva.
Canva, yeah. I've seen Canva throw shade at TikTok. Like one of their notifications, like push notifications on the app,
Really?
was like come over to Canva or whatnot. Like all your editing tools over here. We're not leaving you or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was for TikTok because I forget that you can edit like how you can in CapCut and create template reels and stuff like that. You can do that in Canva too. I've never done it.
I've never done it either.
But I don't know if you can download CapCut from the App Store because people are saying you can't download TikTok.
Good thing we never deleted it.
Yeah, so
So we got
maybe
lucky.
don't use CapCut. I think the other ones were DaVinci. Obviously, there's Premiere Pro.
Is it LV or LN video editor or something like that?
I'm not sure. And then there's Final Cut. I
Mm-hmm.
think Final Cut too. Um, but yeah, honestly, just use what works good for you. There's people that use YouTube Studio to edit too.
Yep.
There's also people that edit straight from TikTok and Instagram. You can also edit on Instagram, and Instagram has templates too. So there's many
Yeah.
different
Just find
ways,
your niche. Find what
many
you.
different free ways also. Um, Lessons we've learned is number 4. Why consistency matters more than perfection. Dealing with algorithm changes and staying motivated despite low engagement. Hmm.
Oof. I think we know that since we're starting out, our engagement and follower count isn't high and it's not going to be high. And we know that consistency is key and we know that networking is key.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll keep creating content. And not only that, it's us creating content and getting better at creating content. And we kind of learn as we
Right.
go, find things that are
Mm-hmm.
better for our process, and we take those. And we know that things slowly build. It's a marathon and not a sprint.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, especially because the algorithm does always change, and staying
Mm-hmm.
motivated despite on what we have going on or low engagement. Like I haven't been posting on my Instagram and I haven't really been on Threads either. And I feel like whenever I stop doing that, I get back into like the little imposter syndrome rut and
Yeah.
whatnot. So
If you're not using Threads, you need to be using Threads.
yeah,
Just say that now.
yeah. It looks like our fifth topic is advice for new creators. Share our real journey, not the highlight reel, which I feel like we've been doing this episode. Um, use trending audio and hashtags, but make it unique to your brand. So I guess that has also been some advice for us that we've just definitely taken
Yeah.
instead of using like 50, 60, 70, 80 hashtags like you see some people do
Yeah.
on their posts and then down in the comments and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Was it 5 to 8 to 12 or 3 to 8 to 12 or something like that?
Yeah, and then more. It seems like you do use tags or more tags more on YouTube.
Yeah.
But definitely on like Instagram and stuff like that, they say if you use too many tags that essentially it just doesn't know where to put you at, and
Mm-hmm.
so you're kind of all over the place instead of finding your home. Only the hashtags that you need essentially or to find the niche that you're wanting to fall into,
Mm-hmm.
so that way you don't confuse whatever platform you're posting on.
Yeah. Everyone is definitely different, but again, we're taking advice from people who know what they're doing, and we feel like we're getting on the right path.
Mhm.
And our content moving forward on all platforms is gonna be synchronized.
Mhm. Yeah. I definitely like when I was editing the videos and making the thumbnails, I kept it like kind of similar,
Yeah.
but tried different font and different like I guess just ways of editing to
Yeah.
see kind of what people liked more and what they didn't like. So,
Right.
but
It's a
I know.
it's a difficult game to play.
Yeah.
Um, and the other part is if you're looking at it as a competition compared to other creators because everything is so saturated, you're going about it the wrong way.
Yeah.
You should be looking at it as you're creating content that, again, is going to resonate with
Mhm.
people, and you have a unique voice, and you should be creating something to, in our case, help others or
Mhm.
push people in the right direction, I guess you can say.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're starting a podcast because of your business or trying to get your business out there
Mm-hmm.
or about yourself or your kids or having a business with a kid or whatnot. I mean, there's podcasts for like literally everything
Yeah,
out there.
exactly.
You just gotta do it tastefully.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be cool. Side note, sorry. Um, I'm sure that if you watch all the videos back, you can already see him and how much he's grown.
Oh, yeah. He's getting thick.
Yeah.
See these cheeks?
No, he's just staring at me. He
Yeah,
looks like tired, like
he's very tired.
delusional tired.
Yeah, he's like, why?
Yeah, we're
Why is it
almost.
so bright?
Yeah, we're almost done. It's bedtime.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, so that kind of concludes our episode. For episode 2,
Mm-hmm.
more into content creation. Content creation is definitely chaotic for us, and then having a newborn added to that. We did want to do content creation before. Well, I mean, I did, I guess, and then we kind of talked about it when I was pregnant too. So we definitely knew that it was something,
Yep.
but again, we have ADHD, and like starting is the hardest part,
Yeah, it's bad.
and then consistently going is like number 2 hardest part.
It really is.
But on the next episode, we'll talk about how we find balance. Um, we're definitely not first time parents, but
No.
it feels like the first time each time.
Yeah, you're restarting.
Yeah, especially because ours are 5 and 6, so
Yeah, and now we got
a
Mr.
three
Three,
month old.
a 3 months old.
Yeah, it's like starting over. Like the other day, I posted on my story. I was like, when your daughter leaves to her dad's and you forget you started over. It was a picture of
Yeah.
Ronan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's funny.
you guys match right now, which I feel like we've kind of been talking about, but
We have
in each episode. But I guess
the
next.
truthfully the parenting aspect, like him. This is take number 2. Last week we tried recording 2 nights in a row, did not happen, and then we had to record episodes on a Saturday because we had to bring him by grandmama
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that we were able to actually record.
Focus.
It's
Yeah, I think we spent like 6 or 8. It was maybe 6 or 7 hours they were over there.
mm-hmm.
And I feel like we didn't even accomplish anything.
No, but here we
So
are.
definitely, I obviously we want to relate to people who have kids
Yeah,
and whatnot.
yeah.
But if you're listening to this and you don't have kids, definitely take advantage of your time. I Yeah, Ronan says, I can tell you that I, for whatever reason, love this kid to death, but
I mean, I love him to death too, but use obsessed with the little
we
man.
I am, yeah, I'm definitely more obsessed than.
Well, with that, we're trying to keep these shorter and sweeter for you guys to digest.
Mhm.
If you're returning to watch, we appreciate you, truthfully. If you're engaging on threads, we appreciate you. If you're liking our stuff, we appreciate you. All we can say now is that we got to wrap this up because he wants a ba and he wants to go bed.
Me too.
Uh-huh.
I'm
But
crying on the inside.
yeah. But no, truly thank you. And if you are watching, like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys are commenting, I promise you we're responding because we definitely appreciate it.
Yeah. Just make sure you're nice.
Yeah, please be nice. Please be nice.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, bye.